Well, I'm talking with Elliot Belilos, who's an attorney here in Washington, D.C., and been talking about some employment considerations and some of the steps that employers can take, specifically in agricultural operations, to try to prevent accidentally hiring someone who might come in with a hidden agenda and maybe using some false pretenses to be hired in an ag operation. I wonder if you could summarize some of the points that you've made here as to the precautions that the employer can take.
Thank you. I think the importance is doing due diligence in the hiring process and make sure that you leave no stone unturned and ensure that the person that you hire is someone who is actually planning to do the job for which you're hiring them, and that they're not coming under false pretenses. And the due diligence is making sure that you leave no stone unturned in reviewing the resumes and job applications, checking references, making sure that the person has actually done the jobs that they claim to have done, and that's usually what we find after the fact is hindsight is 20/20, and we almost invariably find when you do hire someone under false pretenses is that if you had done the homework and checked the references, you probably would have uncovered that.
I understand there are also some steps that the employer can take, and there might be some variation in state laws or regulations, but in asking the applicant to sign some agreements as to confidentiality or what what kind of information they might collect or provide outside of employment.
It's important that you have informed consent from the prospective employee that as to monitoring, as to confidentiality, and you manage the expectation of privacy of that employee. That they understand that there is a pledge not to film and photograph on the premises. That they understand that they may be monitored if hired as to their activities on the farm. The application itself is important to as a first step to make sure that they certify in writing that they're making accurate statements on that application, that there are no false statements, and that if they do make any false statements on the application, that can be grounds for termination or refusal to hire.
So really, documentation is key. I think in the ag operations, I'm sure a lot of them just come to agreements on a handshake with a prospective employee, and so I guess they really need to just have a formal application and some of this documentation in place.
The documentation is going to help protect you down the road in the event that you do hire somebody under false pretenses. It can help prevent the disclosure of a video taken and ensure that if they do breach that, there are penalties, and that they may have to pay your attorney's fees if you provide for that in your agreement with them.